I don't like doing intros. I like doing cold opens.
I do too.
Mostly for editing purposes because our intro title, and I'm a little too late. If it's 3 extra clicks if we don't do cold open.
I mean, it's 3 less clicks that you have to do though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's 3 extra clicks that I like. How if I would just go right into an intro because I have to put the song at the front end and there's a bunch of black frames at the beginning of the song.
Yeah,
and it really could be solved with like 5 minutes of my time just re-editing the intro a little bit. But thank God we discussed this because now we have our cold open.
They piped that the wrong way.
I'll call the clubhouse. We'll book in another 18 for tomorrow.
Okay, they cheated on that. They fluffed their balls.
Yeah, no better time for the breakfast ball than now.
Welcome back to episode 136. 35.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Kirby Puckett last week.
Who's 35?
Kevin Durant.
That's a good one.
I mean,
speaking of Kevin Durant, he could be a professional golfer had he dedicated his entire life to it.
Yes, he could have.
No.
I don't even think there's enough. There's not enough shaft for him in the world.
No, he's 7 feet.
I mean, that guy needs 4-foot shafts.
Michael Jordan, guys, he's 6'6", 6'7". That's still pretty tall. I will say KD is very tall. That is his only drawback. Otherwise, he could.
Do you know who Victor Wembanyama is?
No.
He's like the next hybrid of. He's 7'4".
Jesus.
He plays. He plays professionally in France right now, and he can dribble, he can shoot, he can fucking do everything. And he's 7 foot 4 inches tall. Now, mind you, how tall was Yao Ming? 7'5"?
7'6".
7'6".
Jesus.
So they got
Yao couldn't do it all.
No, Yao couldn't do it all. He could he could stand under the hoop. He could maybe like do a little shake and bake underneath, whatever. But this guy's a real deal.
Huh.
So what do you know what number he is, Trevor?
Probably not 35.
No idea.
I don't either.
Oh, he's not drafted, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter yet.
We got to find some athletes before we move on. I hated this bit. Now it's part of my life.
He's number 1.
Okay, well, we are well past Victor Wembanyama. But yeah, welcome back, guys. Episode 1 KD.
Yogi Berra. Justin Verlander.
Do you remember the Geico commercials with Yogi Berra in the barbershop? You don't?
I don't.
Trevor, do you?
No.
Do you know who Yogi Berra is?
A little bit, but not really.
Fuck. I just got a Hulu ad playing.
Okay, so I'm 29, Trevor. You're 24.
22, gonna be 23.
Fuck. I'm pretty sure I ask how old you are every single episode.
Ricky Henderson.
22 years old. Okay. So
Frank Thomas.
I think probably 25 is the age of Yogi Berra. 25 and older is the age of Yogi Berra. He's a legend catcher for the Yankees.
Yep. I know he was a catcher for the Yankees.
Yeah, he played with the Babe.
Yeah.
The great Bambino. The Colossus of Clout. I don't know.
I wonder when Babe Ruth had to have died a long time ago.
Yeah, pre-60s.
He died in the 60s?
Pre-60s, I said.
He died before the 60s? I mean, Yogi Berra was just doing Geico commercials like 10 years ago.
Yeah, because he died before Roger Maris broke his record.
Okay.
Babe Ruth died in 1948.
What are you looking up?
Shit.
Let's get into it. We got KD for the podcast title.
I'm looking up, did Babe Ruth play with Yogi Berra?
I don't think he did. I think there's
Yogi Berra might have played with Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris then.
I could see that. Also, shout out Roger Maris, Fargo boy.
Yeah. Yeah, he Shanley?
Played for the Red Hawks.
Shanley?
I don't remember what high school he went to. I think I don't know. I'm not even going to guess. But legitimate home run kid, 61. Played for the Red Hawks in Fargo, and then Yankees legend. Tyler,
I need to know this.
I mean, this is terrible radio right now.
Yeah, he played with the Yankees in 46.
So about when Babe Ruth was.
So maybe. But no, if Babe Ruth died in 48, they probably didn't play together.
No, they definitely didn't.
But like Babe Ruth died young. Anyway.
Hey, you know what they say about the young?
Only the good ones die then.
That's correct.
Have you guys ever watched Ted Lasso?
Never. I've heard it's a phenomenal show, though.
It makes me so happy. It is.
In what sort of way?
Everything about that show makes me feel good.
Okay.
Even the shit that's supposed to make you feel bad, you feel good by the end of it.
So if you're having a bad day, you go home and watch Ted Lasso.
You need to watch Ted Lasso, guys. That is just, I don't know why I decided to plug that. It's been on my mind. I watched a season and a half this weekend. It's a phenomenal TV show. I cannot recommend it any higher. You should watch, if you want to get in the right fucking state of mind before you play a round of golf, you go watch yourself some Theodore Lasso.
Okay, I had to put that together there for a second. Ted is short for Theodore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the middle of watching Beef right now. Beef on Netflix.
This is all he's been talking about.
I keep asking people, has anyone here seen Beef?
No,
one
I
has
watched
seen
the trailer. I'm like, that's not for me.
Tyler, the trailer is nothing like the actual. It is. It's part
Isn't
of it.
it a rom-com?
I feel like it's a dark rom-com.
Yeah, it's like two people that get mad, road rage at each other, and then fuck.
Nope. I'm eight episodes in, and they haven't done that yet.
They will.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole trailer is just pure rage, sexual tension.
Correct.
So I
recommend it though. It is kind of dark. It's not Ted Lasso worthy, but I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Anyway, how much of the NFL draft did you watch?
Round 1. Then I turned on alerts for the rest.
Okay. What do you think about the Vikings' first pick?
Love it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yep. If homie can even get, his name's Jordan Addison. I forget his first name.
Yep.
If he can just even be a fraction of Adam Thielen, just his first year, phenomenal pick.
If you could have a KJ Osborne year from this last year,
Yes.
it'd be great.
Yep. Because anyone that can take pressure and make sure that JJ's not double teamed at all times, game over.
Now, if they did a draft, like let's say they did, I know they kind of do a draft for the Ryder Cup, and the President's Cup, which is if you guys don't know what the President's Cup is, it's USA versus the world. So if you're ever in conversation with people about, God, I wish they'd have a golf tournament where it's USA against the world. That's the President's Cup.
Yeah, that's a fun tidbit for you in case you guys start a golf podcast and you're like trying to sound legitimate.
Yeah.
Just know that the President's Cup is USA versus the world.
That's that's our 5% there. I wish they would publicize or televise the Ryder Cup
that'd
draft.
be kind of fun.
Now, there's an issue with that because golf is an individual sport, and things like the draft none of the players on those teams are drafting the guys coming from college. Now, I get also Zach Johnson as a Ryder Cup captain would be drafting the people that he wants on his team, but I don't know. I feel like as low as this sounds, like feelings would get hurt and grudges would be made if someone wasn't drafted to the USA Ryder Cup team by Zach Johnson.
If you think about the Ryder Cup team draftings, it is almost exactly like playground team picking.
100%.
It is just like, all right, captains this year are going to be Zach and who should we pick? I don't know who the European captain is.
Is it Lee Westwood or is he on the Live Tour?
No idea.
Anyway, let's just say it is.
Yeah.
So it's literally like Zach Johnson, Lee Westwood, you guys are team captains. Go ahead. Zach, you get first pick.
Yeah.
And then they just pick from the playground. And then the last guys are just like, oh, God, I hope I get picked.
Right. And because the USA won the last Ryder Cup, Zach Johnson would get pick 1. Let's say that's how it works, right?
Yeah, whatever. I think it's home team. I think it doesn't really matter who gets first pick because they can only draft from the European side or the American side. But
sure. But wouldn't it be cool if there was a draft board with 20 USA guys and you get to pick 6 to 10. I don't remember how many people are actually on the team, but to see guys going off the board and you're like, fuck, I wonder if Max Homa is going to get picked this year. Or, I mean, imagine the sports betting that you could do on that.
Oh God.
Thinking who's going to go number 1? Of course, John Rahm will go number 1 for the European team.
And then Scotty Scheffler.
And then Victor Hovland 2 for European.
Yep.
Number 2, probably
2 US.
I mean, 2 would probably be Rory or Patrick. I mean, Patrick Cantlay is number 4 in the world.
Yeah, he is playing good. I mean, pace of play aside, he is a good golfer.
He's a great golfer.
Very fucking good golfer.
Also,
I hope people didn't lose that during my rant.
Yes.
I don't think he's bad. He's just slower than balls.
But here's the thing, Tyler. I would hate to play with Patrick Cantlay, but I would love if he was on my team.
Yeah, I feel that.
Now it's more so of a mind game for USA than it would be. Okay, this guy's pace of play is fucking awful, right? Anyway, that just ran through my head when I was watching the NFL draft. What we really came here to talk about was the boys finally got outside.
We did. First round of the year under the belt.
It's over.
God, it felt
It is.
good.
And I'll tell you what, man.
Trevor, what was it like golfing with your heroes?
It was good. It was a little nerve wracking the first couple holes.
Why?
But, just because like I've never really golfed with you guys ever, and like,
Aw.
But you know that we're not that good.
yeah, you're not. I mean, you're not crazy good, but I mean, you're still like solid golfers. I mean, you're not like 130.
Trevor?
I mean, you're not out there shanking left, shanking right.
Right.
Besides the one hole, Tyler.
Hey, don't. We'll get to your blow up hole, pal. It was just as bad as mine.
Yep.
I mean, your first drive was right down the
Money.
middle, and you had 30 yards into the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Also, quick little disclaimer: Jake gone. Trevor in the cursed chair.
Yeah,
Post one round with us. That could be bad.
that could be very bad. Let me start with this. We roll up 40 minutes early,
Yes.
30 minutes early. And I'll tell you what, when you can get to a clubhouse that early and just relax until you have to go out and play instead of grabbing your bag and running to the first tee box or trying to get a couple putts in and then running to the first tee box and teeing off and like, holy fuck, I just need to play 2 holes before I can actually get comfortable. This is so much better.
Yeah. So we roll up thinking like, oh, there's 2 cars in the parking lot. One of them is the person working in the clubhouse. Who's this other car? I look over and I'm like, that looks familiar. I know that license plate number. Fucking Grandpa.
Grandpa
He
Dan.
just
Yes, sir.
he listened to the podcast, knew what course we were golfing in at what time, and just showed up ahead of us and was hiding in the clubhouse waiting.
He had been waiting there probably for at least 30 minutes before we got
Well, an hour. He got the tee time wrong. He thought that we said 8 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. So he rolled in at like 7:45.
He was on Eastern time.
Yeah,
No, he was on Pacific
Yep.
time.
Yep. And then we walk. I'm like, I look at Jake and Trevor. I'm like, Grandpa Dave's here. What is he doing? And we go into the clubhouse and he like jumps out behind a merch table. He's like, surprise! He's like,
Oh, shit.
I knew you were here, dude. I saw your car.
You're not, I mean, what he should have done is parked over at the course across the street.
Yeah. Well, and even he's hiding behind a merch table. He's a very short man.
Yeah.
If I didn't see his car, it would have got me because he hid behind that thing
100%.
perfectly. But then I diagnosed why he showed up. I think he showed up because on last week's podcast, I didn't call him out per se, but I did say that I'm going to use a cart at the Pine to Palm because I didn't want Grandpa to have to walk 18 holes. And I think the old man and his stubborn ass took it personally and showed up to show me that he could walk 18 holes.
I mean, and I would say this course is arguably more up and down than the Pine to Palm
For
course,
sure.
which is right across the street.
Yep, I agree 100%. So I think he is just being like a stubborn old mule and was like, I can walk 18 holes. Or he just wanted to spend quality time with us. One
Yeah.
of the two.
I mean, I loved every second of it. We were walking down fairways. We were fucking chit-chatting. He was
Yep.
finding balls. He found me 5 balls.
Yeah, first round of the year.
And I mean, now my bag's plumb full.
Yeah, also, it's like, what the fuck? He's my grandpa. So,
Why are you not giving these to me?
yep. But we showed up early. Ryan, true to form, blew up the bathroom.
No, I didn't.
Where the hell were you then?
yeah.
We were waiting for you with the truck locked. We couldn't get our clubs out while you were taking a shit.
No, I was talking to the new Pine to Palm management.
No, you told me you were going
Destroyed
to
Yeah,
bathroom.
I went and took a piss. I swear on my life, I went to take a piss, came out, talked to the new Pine to Palm management, which also phenomenal people over at Pine to Palm.
Yeah,
now.
it's nice. A nice change. They're very, very sweet people. It's
Yes,
I forgot their names already. I'm so bad with names.
Kalen and I can't remember his name.
Me
but
either.
We'll figure it out again.
But yeah, they met us on like hole 6 or something too. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Now, anything negative that I have said in the past about Pine to Palm management is not a direct reflection on the new management. It's a new year. It's a new tournament. I am unbanned for this year.
Knew them, knew us.
Yes. So things are going to fly smooth this year.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
speaking of flying smooth, Ryan, our first hole of the year.
Holy shit. Can we talk about the weather first?
Yeah. We can talk about all of it. That's all I want. That's all I've been thinking about for a week.
The weather. Let me break it down for you a little bit. 5 to 8 mile an hour wind.
light
50
breeze.
to 55 degrees. Probably 50 when we started. Probably 55 when we ended.
Yep.
Little bit of sunshine, a little bit of clouds. So it's not like we're out there getting fucking sunburnt first round of the year. The weather, I would take that over 80 and sunny.
Me too, hands
Midsummer.
down. Like you got a quarter zip on for the first 6 holes. You pop that off. You're perfectly content the whole time.
Yep.
It was absolute perfect golf weather, and the course was in really good condition.
Course in
considering
phenomenal condition.
there are spots that still have snow on it.
Yeah.
Like think about that. There's snow that has
Yeah.
yet to melt off, and that course was still pretty rock hard. Like it wasn't just puddles everywhere.
Rock hard. But yes, Tyler, go on. First tee box.
First tee box. I take the first drive of the breakfast ball year, and true to form, fucking dribbler.
Straight into the driving
Straight
range.
Mm-hmm.
Close to the driving
It was so hoselled that it didn't come off away from me. It came towards me. But anyway, breakfast ball, obviously. There's no better time for a breakfast ball than the first drive of the first round of the year.
Well, some people would argue to say it's the only time that you can take the breakfast ball.
Right. Well,
It's
I
the
mean,
first tee box, but we would disagree with that.
I do disagree with that. Yes. And I like, even if you did disagree with even taking, it's the first drive of the literally the first swing of the season.
Well, also, if you're playing a morning round, like breakfast at McDonald's used to end at 11, right? So you can still take a breakfast ball from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
We run off McDonald's time.
Yeah.
But anyway, I take my breakfast ball. Next drive, much, much better. Still not in the fairway.
Just
but
a tiny push out to the right.
yeah, and I know exactly how far away from the green it was because I ranged my chip in the next shot. I was 60 yards out from the green, but that was mostly because of my fade.
Yep.
But yeah, it felt amazing. And then I think everyone on the first hole took a breakfast ball, but you.
Yeah. Surprisingly.
Yeah, you crushed your first drive.
And the thing is, I didn't even see where it went. Like I could feel it and I could tell it was pretty good, but I didn't even see the ball in the air.
No, I had eyes on it the whole time. I was like, Jesus, that's a great way to start.
I think I blacked out. I think that
From excitement.
I just had so much excitement, so much energy, and so much focus. I mean, actually, I had the opposite. I had zero focus. I wasn't thinking about anything at the time. And damn near, might I say, dead straight right down the middle.
Yep, you had like the tiniest little baby fade on it, and it was perfect because the green is just a little bit off to the right, and you faded it right in front of the green. What were you, 3 yards off the fringe?
It was Texas wedge off the fringe,
Yeah.
up into the hole.
Yep. So I hit the chip shot of my life from 60 out over sand. A little daunting.
Yep.
Land it just on the close fringe, rolls up, almost holes out for birdie to start the year.
Eagle.
For eagle to start the year. And then Ryan chipped, what did he like?
Putted.
Within 8? Putted within 8 feet.
Yep.
And then we both prominently sunk our birdie putts. And all the people telling me that it's not a birdie because I took a breakfast ball, suck my fucking dick.
Jesus.
Here's the thing about that is we control our own scorecards, and the people who don't agree with you do not control them.
Nope.
So, I mean, we can literally put whatever score we want, and we can claim that as our score.
Yep.
And we'll get into Golfers Anonymous later. We got some really good submissions on shit like that. But
this, if I was to grade the audience on their participation, this is the first A you guys have gotten. Listener Q&As have been good, but I'll give them B's.
Golfers Anonymous.
Golfers Anonymous was a fucking A. There's some that I'm just not going to read on the podcast.
Jesus.
So we finish up hole 1, and I'll be honest. So Tyler made his, about a 2-foot birdie putt before I went to putt, probably 8-footer, 8-footer left to right, probably a cup and a half, 2 cups. And I'll be honest, I had no swing thoughts. My drive, I had no thoughts when I hit the first putt off the fringe. I was a little bit nervous.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is storybook. If we were to both birdie the first hole of the year, and wouldn't you know, still really not thinking about much. Fucking bank it off the back of the pin straight down to the hole. We are 1 under after 1.
Yep. And we're all stoked. You and Jake, you parred, correct?
No, I 3-putted and bogey.
Oh, okay. We need to talk about something with fucking Trevor here. Mr. I love the simulator. I think I'm really good in the simulator. I don't putt in the simulator.
Damn right.
How many fucking putts did you take in our first round of the year, Mr. I don't putt on the sim?
37.
How many holes are there in golf?
18. Don't.
What's 18? What's 18 times 2, Trevor?
36.
So
I 3-putted at least 5 or 6 holes, and I 1-putted like 1 or 2 holes.
So you 2 point something putted every single hole.
Mm-hmm.
And you had
that's
some
why-
holes where you had 3 feet to the cup.
Yep. I missed a lot of putts.
Some putts we should have gave you, but also some putts that we weren't going to give you because we knew
couldn't
that you
putt.
were struggling.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor, I think you learned a valuable lesson that you can't go all winter long without putting.
Well, I can, but
You can.
can't, though.
It's just
You
not
just
going to
can't.
pay off.
yeah.
I think it all is also
It is.
just a testament as to like how important your putter is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I first started golfing 3-4 years ago, like heavily, I thought the driver was the most important club in the bag
I think everybody does when they start.
because it's the biggest, it's the baddest,
It's the
most
coolest looking.
it's the coolest, it's the most expensive club in your bag, and it's like this is the most important club, and then you forget about that little hunk of metal that sits there 95% of the time, and you're like, hey, this thing could maybe come in handy for me someday.
That little hunk of metal saved my round.
Big time.
My putter was hot, baby. It's the exact opposite. I think if we played your version of golf with no putting in simulator, you kick my ass. But since there was actual putting involved, I kicked yours.
I just couldn't figure out the greens. Like the wetness and the sand, I just couldn't get myself to hit the ball hard.
Yeah.
But
I will say, so last week we welcomed Jake to the PXG crew. Jake's swinging the Gen 5s now, and I don't do this for Jake a whole lot.
I'm doing the same thing. And I'm so glad he's not here for it.
I know, me too. And make sure he doesn't listen to any of this.
I won't.
Because otherwise I can't show up next week. Jake had one of the best rounds that I've ever seen him golf.
Yeah.
Now, this was a par 64, and Jake shot an 80, I believe, which 16 over, which is better than bogey golf.
Yes, it is.
Some of the shots that he was some of the wedge shots that he was hitting were like, when did you learn how to hit a wedge off of a tee box?
When did you learn how to fucking golf? Jake, I'm super glad he's not here because I would never say this to his face.
No, God, no.
He's improved so much, and I'm genuinely impressed by him. Like he actually worked for it. Like he golfed in the simulator at least 3 to 4 nights a week, all just to try and get better so he could compete. And he told me, he's like, I didn't want to be a liability on videos anymore.
100%.
And I genuinely am impressed with him. He had a lot of really good tee shots with his irons on the par 3s.
Yep.
So hats off to you, Jake. So glad you're not here to hear this.
He also had a tee shot with his driver where we all hit. I think there was 2 balls in the fairway, and there's 2 balls that were like maybe 10 yards off the fairway, and he was 5 to 10 yards off the fairway, but 10 to 15 yards in front of all of us.
Yeah, I was like, where the fuck did that come from?
Into the wind, like a little downhill to uphill, and Jake outdrives everybody.
Yeah,
yep.
he outdrove us several times.
Gen 5 driver.
Yep.
I was very impressed with Jake, and that's all I'll say about that.
Yep. Weird. Hate it. I still beat him though. Thank God.
Yeah, what'd
I
you
beat
shoot
him by
again?
1.
You shot 79.
Yep.
Tyler asked me what I shot.
Ryan, what did you shoot?
This isn't a bragging moment. This is more so like I shot a 69.
Nice.
What? Is there a better score to shoot on your first round of the year than 69?
No, absolutely not.
I was happy with how the first round went.
Me too.
I was 5 over through 18, and I had 2 double bogeys.
Yeah. I was 15 over through 18, and I had a fucking 8 and a 6, both on par 3s. So even if I just double bogey those, that would take off 3, that one, I would take off 4 strokes if I just double bogeyed those holes.
So then you are 12 over,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
11 over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, how does I'll tell you how one gets an 8 on a par 3. You don't know how to get out of the sand, and there's lots of sand. It was that shorter par 3, like 145.
It was a hole one. I know what hole it was because as we were walking,
You played
the
it
pin-
twice.
Yes, I did. I played it from a different hole actually. As we were walking down the fairway, I said, "This is the type of hole you could literally just punch like an 8-iron straight down the middle
And
it'd probably
roll it up.
right up onto the green."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I hit a wedge, pulled it a tiny little bit. It was actually, I hit it pretty pure, but there was just a sand trap right up next to the left side of the green. Goes into the sand, and it's not super plugged, but I don't know how to get out of there. So I promptly hit my shot out of the sand over the green into a different bunker and plug it. And then
like we're talking plugged.
Mhm. And so I gave it another good whack and hit it off the other side of the green, not into the sand.
Right past the bunker.
Yep. And now I'm pissed. So I chip shot back over the green again.
Yep.
And then I just absolute sally the next chip onto the fringe and then 2-putt from there. So that's how you get an 8 on a par 3.
How do we get you better out of the sand?
I
Not even bet. I mean, yes, better out of the sand, but just to get it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to practice it, obviously. There's only one place with a practice sand green here, and it's not open yet.
So I will say, I do not.
Sand green. What a dumbass. Sand trap.
I don't watch a whole lot of. I don't watch any like golf tip videos anymore because it's just too much information at once. But the one way I did learn how to hit out of the sand was by watching a golf tip video.
Okay.
And I've never went to the range and practiced getting out of the sand. I've just watched a couple videos on it, and that's it.
I mean, I know in theory what I'm supposed to do. Like I gotta take the sand and the ball first. I need to have my stance open. I need to have the club face open. I understand a little bit of like the general rules of thumb in the sand trap, but I just have absolutely zero touch. Like I got the ball out of the sand both times how you're supposed to.
You bladed it though.
I bladed it on the first one,
Yep.
but it still had a little loft to it. The second one, I hit how you're supposed to.
Okay, yeah.
The second one, I hit how you're supposed to. I just hit it way too hard
Sure. Yeah.
because it was so plugged. And I'm like, I really got to hit it.
So you just got to take more sand.
It's so buried in there. I really got to hit it hard.
So going forward, we'll allow you to just draw a line behind the ball and hit that line on your through
Yeah,
swing.
I mean, I've done that before and it still doesn't work. I just need to practice it. I just don't practice.
Just put it out.
Okay, let's be realistic.
That's 99. That's how I get out of the sand. But these bunkers had huge lips.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I 1,000% would have putted it.
Huge lips. You couldn't get it out of the lips. I don't know.
No, there's something about them.
I love the aspirations, Tyler, but there's no way that you're going to go to the range and practice getting out of the sand.
I would.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like going to the range by myself
Sure.
and just fucking putzing around.
Yeah.
And it is a little annoying that the practice sand bunker is like not anywhere near the range.
150 yards away from where the action is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say there's really nothing better than going to the range with like unlimited amount of time
Mhm.
and just kind of walking around and doing whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
So first you maybe go hit a big bucket and then you maybe waltz over to the practice green and you hit some putts and then maybe you like fuck around and like, hey, can I hit this like ball above my feet, 15-yard chip shot, like short-sighted?
Mhm.
You start to fuck around with that kind of thing. I think that's probably the funnest part about practice is like, I can just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I
Without a
got
doubt.
2 hours to burn. So I'm going to do all of this and then I'm going to go get a beer in the clubhouse.
Yep. I have plans to do that with a buddy actually that I haven't seen in forever.
Yeah.
Same buddy that was at the worst golf course in the world.
Okay. Yep.
Meeting up with him next week or something.
Beauty.
Go to the range, putts around, get a beer. But our round, if you want to know how bad my blow up hole situation is, I just explained the 8 on the par 3, right? If I could just get the ball off the ground every shot, and I did for most, and get it in the general direction, I'd be a pretty decent golfer, I think.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
in total, I had 9 pars and a birdie, which is really good for me.
Yeah, hole number 1.
Hole number 1.
Wasted it on a hole number
No,
1.
that's a great tone
I
setter.
know, would've been
for
great.
the season.
Would have been great. That's very true. But would have been great if you could have birdied after the 8 on the par 3.
Oh, I tried.
I know you did.
Yep, I tried. But that just goes to show, like, on 10 of the 18 holes, I was par or better,
Yeah.
and still was 15 over. So those other 8 holes, basically, I was 16 over through 8 holes of the 18.
I think it comes down to how can you recognize the blow up hole early?
Yeah, I recognized it the second my ball landed in the sand.
Yeah. And then you're like, I'm fucked.
Yep. So I was great everywhere out of grass, I thought. It was just when I touched sand. And then towards the end, I think that I was getting a little tired. Hadn't swung or walked that much in a while.
Oh,
and I was
also,
hooking everything.
Yep. Forgot to mention that. I mean, biggest part of the first time out of the year, walked.
Oh, yeah. I
Push
told
carts.
everyone I was going to call you out for that. We are a walk-only podcast this
No, we're
year.
not.
How many
We're
times?
a walk only podcast for 1 round.
How
and
many
that
t-
being the first because
how
the
many-
carts weren't even out. That you couldn't even get a cart.
Right. How many times have we used the cart this year?
0.
Oh, so we're a walk-only
yeah.
podcast.
Yes, sir.
Nope.
I'm not gonna lie, I
And
do have
what-
a blister on my foot, so
There we go.
You'll be fine.
Who wants blisters on feet?
I mean,
I'm still gonna walk. I
Yeah,
don't give a
we
shit.
are we are by definition a walk-only podcast because we've only walked.
Ron's going to get a cart right now.
He was
Fuck this
looking
shit.
at him yesterday on Facebook.
But we've done 135 episodes.
Yeah, this year we are a walk-only podcast.
No.
New year.
We are a ride only podcast.
New year, new us. Everyone was feeling great after. Legs were tired. Back/hips were tight, but it felt good. It felt good to feel something.
I'm actually surprised I've never seen anyone walking the streets with a golf bag on their back. Like to start training for walking.
I would judge that person.
Why?
It's like, just do it on a treadmill in
Maybe
your own
he's walking
home.
to the
Yeah,
course.
but then you can't, like, you're not golfing on a treadmill. You're golfing outside. So why not get outside with a golf bag, throw it on your back, and just go walk a mile or 2?
I would like to walk a mile in their golf shoes.
That's a good point, Tyler.
Yeah.
I will say for my round, so I had 2 double bogeys. And that really fucked me up mentally. You know why?
You poor
It's
thing.
because both double bogeys occurred with driver off the tee box.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Yeah, you put it away towards the end.
oh my God, I'm a new type of person.
Real
I would say within the last year, I've turned a new leaf, and that leaf being the ego of the driver.
Yep.
I am not afraid to put away my driver on hole number 4. But that's my question. If you have the self-awareness to understand, like, hey, the driver just doesn't have it today, let's go hybrid or 3-wood, a little more for sure. Like, when's a good time to put the driver away?
Okay, so my rule on a normal course, it would definitely wouldn't have been my rule on that par 3, par 4 hybrid where you don't get to swing your driver as often, is 3 strikes, you're out.
Okay.
3 miss hits on the driver, she goes in the bag for the rest of the round.
I think for me, it's got to be 3 miss hits in a row.
Okay.
Like if I hit 2 good ones and a bad one, and then I follow that up with another bad one, followed by a good one and then a bad one, like that's 3, but it's not 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my odds are still 50-50.
See, I would still put that away because 50-50 isn't good enough for me. Like, I got to at least hit.
Shit.
I will fucking hit 6-iron off the deck
I know you will.
every time if that's the one I know I can hit straight that day.
What is it about the driver
I don't know.
that it's a fucking coin flip?
It's so weird
Like
because
here, I have a ball marker. I'm going to start doing that. That's going to be my new thing off the tee.
Flip a coin, heads.
I'm
yes,
literally just
tails,
going to
no.
flip a coin or flip a ball marker. This is heads, that's tails. Whatever it lands on, that's what is going to happen with the driver.
I don't hate that.
I don't either. Actually, I kind of like
You
that.
just do it on the first tee and then have it dictate your whole round.
That is true. That is true. Because then it's not you putting the driver away; it's the coin putting the driver
Yeah,
away.
it's golf telling you to put it away. So
Yeah.
no one can argue with the sport.
I'm gonna start doing that
I like that.
to determine whether or not I'm gonna use driver on the hole. I'm gonna just start flipping a coin
Jesus, take the wheel.
because again, Like 50-50 is generous for me. I'm talking like 30-70.
Like driver on to off?
30% on, 70% off.
I think it's better than that.
Dude, I hit 2 fairways through 18 holes. And there was probably 9 or 10 drivable holes.
Yeah.
2 fucking fairways. And I still had a really good round in my mind.
Yeah. You had a great round.
So why do we keep using it?
I don't know. I mean,
And I'll tell you what, Tyler, it's not the club's fault.
no.
It's just like when you have the crosshairs on a nice deer and you miss, it's not
That
the
is-
scope's
it's
fault.
on your fault.
It's not the gun's
Yeah.
fault. It's your fault.
Yep, I'm with that. I mean, the problem with me and the driver though is like if it's off, you got to learn how to hit it at some point because it is a useful
Exactly.
tool.
Yep.
But here's the thing. I've been hitting this driver way better than I hit. My last driver, I shit you not, was 10%. It was 10 and 90.
Jesus.
But here's the thing.
Are you talking your pre-PXG one?
Correct.
I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know exactly what
That's
club-
funny.
Oh, yeah.
It was 10%. It was 1090. But I kept hitting it and kept hitting it and kept hitting it. I'm like, I have to learn how to hit this thing. And then I got fitted for a club and I started hitting it better. But again, it's still there's still user error. I'm like, here's what goes through my mind. Well, fuck, I just push slice that one into the trees, OB. Now, this next one that I tee up, I have to compensate for that.
And then-
so I snap hook it straight left. And it's like, what's going on here? What is going on?
What's going on is you need to just pull your 7-iron out of your bag.
Or the hybrid.
Yeah.
Or the hybrid. I mean, there's if you know anything about course management, which I don't yet, I'm getting there though. The move is to hit a different club off the tee to put yourself in a good position to where you can get an 8, a 9, or a P wedge into the green.
Yeah, I think what is the rule? Like you hit your drive so you can hit your favorite club next.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I've never.
The fuck? Did we just hit a shot on accident?
Yeah, we just went OB in the water on the simulator. Whoopsies.
I must have kicked the ball.
So that's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna give the driver hole number 1 a chance. I'm gonna give hole number 2 a chance. And after that, it's gonna be 50-50.
Okay.
Flip a coin.
Yep. Big fan. Love that. Trevor, you should do that as well because your driver was all over the place.
No,
No,
it
it
wasn't.
wasn't. I had
Dude, his
one-
driver was fucking
Yeah.
dick.
What about your blow-up hole that you dribbled it
I
off?
just missed the
barely.
ball.
Oh, you missed the ball with what?
One drive,
Your driver.
but one drive.
Tyler, he drove the ball phenomenally.
You did okay.
Trevor, what kind of driver do you hit?
PXG.
Thank you.
Oh no shit.
yeah, Trevor's he's not a part of
That's
the
true.
Gen 6
Yeah, you
group.
did have them before
He
you
had it
started
before
working
we did.
here.
So, dude, Trevor's driver was solid.
Yeah, the one hole that sticks out of my head is the
Yeah.
one you barely dribbled it past the ladies box, and
Yep.
then your next shot was worse.
Yep. That was just a bad hole.
Like Jake and I didn't hit great drives, and it took Trevor 3 shots to get to us.
That was my hole.
Yeah, no, we all have them though.
Yep.
And I think Jake asked me, like, you a little nervous? Like, he was asking about him having to drop his pants about the ladies box.
Yeah.
Trevor's like, yeah, I'm a little nervous. Like, it's like I'm golfing with my heroes, and it's like,
Okay.
and like it's just so much pressure. And
Because Grandpa Dave is actually the one who made the first comment about dropping your pants,
yeah.
not getting the ladies box. You did get past it. You actually went by it and rolled down a
It rolled
50-foot
decently,
hill.
but it was just like on a downhill line. I was
Yeah.
like, God damn it.
Yep.
you're topping the next one for sure on that
Yeah.
lie.
What to wrap this segment up? First round of the year was. I mean, you can't get better vibes in the first round of the
No.
year. What was your guys' favorite part?
Just golfing with my heroes.
I knew you were going to
Great
say that.
answer.
I knew you were going to say that.
I think the bid for the scramble team went pretty well for Jake. Trevor, Jerry's still out. I'm gonna make you still got to earn it.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing about Trevor is like if his driver's on, then like we need that type of driver.
I understand that, but we've only got one round.
But
My chips were good too. I could chip, but I just could not
You-
fucking putt.
You are most definitely putting first in our scramble.
I was just gonna say that you need a guy to putt first.
yeah, but we
I'll wear
need a
that.
guy that can like get it somewhat close so we can get an accurate line.
Okay. I'll hammer that bitch to that fucking hole if I have to.
this guy.
I'll make sure I don't leave it short then.
He was like putting with a sledgehammer.
The putting was tough. It was really tough.
I know.
I think there's 2 solid bids out. Nothing is set in stone yet.
Yeah,
But-
I think Jake made a good case for himself, but we need to see him repeat. We need to make sure that this wasn't a crazy one-off.
Yep.
Trevor, we got to see some improvements on the green, and you're in. Overall, though,
Tyler,
everybody passed the vibe check, which is our number one thing.
Yep. You need to improve out of the sand.
Yes, I do. But if we are taking a shot out of the sand in a scramble, we have a bigger issue.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so objectively speaking, does Trevor need to get better on the green, or do you need to get better out of the sand?
He needs to get better on the green because I kicked his ass, and I only was in the sand once.
And I mean, we're always on the green. We're not always going to be in the sand.
Yeah,
That's true.
So
I
Especially
mean,
with 4 shots.
yes to both. I do need to get better out of the sand because what happens at the Pine to Palm, I'm having the round of my life,
Yeah.
and I get stuck in the sand on 18, and I get a 12.
just take a drop out of this.
I genuinely might take an unplayable to save a round.
Dude, you're just in the sand. Don't
okay.
please.
Can you just take a penalty stroke whenever you want?
I think you can mark something as unplayable. I don't know. This is one of the 10% you're talking about.
5%.
Well, no,
5%.
If you just move your ball, you will lose a stroke because you move your ball and just move it out of the fucking sand.
Yeah, so like if you land it, if you're like, let's say you're plugged to the sand trap, can you just move it back from the sand trap onto the grass and just take a penalty stroke?
I want to say you can, but I don't know.
Because I would honestly, for you, Tyler, I would consider doing that.
Yeah, I mean, like option 1 is to practice.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the best option.
And then if that doesn't work, then yeah, I'll do that.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting.
That'd be funny in a scramble. Like I'll go first and I just take a drop backwards in case you guys don't get out of the sand.
Yeah. Or you're like, okay, well, I think we have a good chance at holding this out, not in the sand.
Yep.
So we'll take the penalty stroke and we'll take the hole out.
Yep.
But yeah, my favorite part, birdie to start. I
Yeah,
mean,
how can you beat that?
can't beat that, dude. Grandpa Dave getting excited, giving up double peace signs like he's JFK.
Really? Too soon.
I think he
dude.
would. No, or that was Bill Clinton that does this, right?
Yeah, it was after he left the Oval Office with Monica.
Oh, yep. double deuces. But yeah, he was pumped. I was pumped. Thoughts on the playlist? Does it need improvements? How'd you guys feel about the music?
I wasn't really listening, to be honest. I was at times, and it wouldn't have been my first choice. But I think just the fact that there was some sort of noise that was coming from a speaker was good.
Right, because I still think we need to cater one to our page in general. I played my music.
Yeah.
And I know Jake liked it because we like the same music. And I was more curious on polling you two, because if you guys don't like it, we have to make our own playlist.
So you like older stuff.
I like older stuff. I had some newer stuff on there, but
You
it's
did,
everything
yep.
chill.
Yes, I like new chill stuff. So you can,
Okay.
you can call me a non like traditional country
Mm-hmm.
fan if you want. But I like the Luke Combs of the world and
Okay.
I'm a Warren Zeters fan, but probably not on the Zippers. I'm a Warren Zippers fan, but not on the golf
Yep.
course.
I had the new country I had on there. I had some Ben Burgess.
I like Ben Burgee.
I had some Morgie Wally on there.
Yep.
Hardy was on there.
Yep.
I had a little Zach Bryan.
Yep.
Zach Bryan's chill. That's a good golf course mix.
Yeah, Zach Bryan is a little too chill sometimes.
Yeah, when
so
you
it's
throw-
very selective with the
Yeah.
song.
When you get something in the orange,
Yeah,
on,
not
you're
on
like,
there.
On the tee box.
You're
just,
like-
ugh.
okay, like
I think I have Oklahoma Smoke Show on there.
that's a good
Not orange, not the something in the orange. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a little that's some like reflection style music.
yeah. I don't need to be thinking when I'm out there. I just need to be
No.
relaxed.
Yeah, no,
I
when-
think next time I'm just gonna put Ted Lasso on my phone
That's fine. Yeah.
and watch that the
Oh
entire
my
round.
God.
I'll be in such a good mood.
What a great way to play a round of golf and knock out a Netflix series
Seriously.
or just any series in general.
Yeah, and I just like watch it through the headphones so I can pause it for every shot so I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
And then I'll just drive and watch.
I will say though, the way the weather was that day, I could have went with no music.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Birds are chirping.
Mhm.
Ice was cracking.
Literally the ice on the lake next to the course.
I probably could have went with no music.
Okay.
One last thought. I would say my favorite thing about the first round of the year was hole number 17. 100,
yeah.
125 yard par
Yeah.
3 uphill. Hit a 50-degree, solid, like really solid. But
Yep.
you can't, like when it hits the green, you can't see where it goes after
Because it's
that.
too elevated.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I look over at you guys. I'm like, what if that went in the hole? And as we start, go ahead.
And I was like, oh yeah, it's a really good shot. But I'm like, no, he was short. No, it didn't get to the hole.
Short or a little bit right.
Yep.
But I don't know what the green does and how far back the pin is to know, like, yes, it could have went from right to left into the hole. So as we're walking up, I look over the hill, and I am pin high 8 inches from a hole in one. And I get it. You can say that about anything. I was 2 inches from a hole in one. You could say you were 15 yards away from a hole in one. And yeah, you're correct.
Yep.
8 inches away from a hole in one. First round of the year.
Which is sweet.
Tap in birdie. And you know, strategically what I did was I walked up to it damn near right away and putted it in so that you guys didn't have the chance to say, no, you have to wait to putt it up.
Well, that was collectively as a group our best hole. Because even the hole where we birdied, Jake doubled and you bogeyed.
Yep.
So that
We went birdie and then par all around.
Yeah.
yeah, on that hole on
Yeah.
17.
Yep.
And I hit a shot that was 55 yards left.
Yep.
And I had to punch through trees and then made a really long putt for par.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that was the best hole for the group of us.
Yeah. And then hole 18 was the only par 5 on the course.
Yep.
Sprayed one right. And then we're 225 out. Yeah, I could lay up, but yeah, probably not. So I hit a hybrid. Again, pin high, but also like right next to the parking lot. My lie is on the sand that has been blown off the parking lot from the wintertime.
Yep.
And there was a tree and also a wooden fence post right in front of me. But also, like, that's fine. You just curl one around the tree onto the green. You 2-putt for par. It's fine.
Did you?
I'm going for every par 5.
Might as well.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's the only hole you get a recovery shot.
Exactly. But it is a scoreable hole. So maybe I could score more if I just laid up and then chipped on.
Not if you're already left.
I also wanted to hit my hybrid, though.
Yep, I feel you.
It's a battle.
Yeah, overall, great round. Felt good to get back out there, get some fresh air in the lungs, some sun on our face, and some clubs in our hands. It was, I couldn't have asked for more. It was like a sore dick, Ryan.
And we haven't been out since. That was last Thursday.
Yep, I think I told you this on the course. It was like a sore dick. You can't beat it.
And with that, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with some fire Golfers Anonymous.
Yes. Okay, we are going to start the Golfers Anonymous in the ad reads because
Ooh.
we have one submitted about Union Green balls, Ryan. Where'd he go? All right. I'm not going to say his name, but here's the message. This is submitted via Spotify. Hi, my name is blank, and I have a problem. I bought 3 boxes of T-Birds from Union Green and got the 4th one free. I lost all 48 balls in 36 holes.
Jesus.
2 rounds. This guy lost 18 balls, sir.
That's 1.3 balls per hole on average.
I respect the shit out of that. Because the homie did not think once about laying up.
No,
He's like, I am
absolutely not.
swinging as hard as I can every time. Don't give a shit where it goes. And the beauty of all of that, Ryan, is he can just go get another 48 balls for about $50.
That is wild.
Think about this. All right, 48 balls.
Tyler, that's more UG balls than we found underneath of underneath the bar outside the simulator.
Yeah. That's how many balls he lost himself. And that's 15 of us playing in the same simulator. All right, think about this, though. This is the beauty of Union Green. The guy loses 48 balls, which means he lost about $50. If he were to have bought one of the big name brand balls that go for around $6-7 a ball,
Yep.
he would have lost $336.
Now break that down for me.
So 7 times 48, he lost 48 balls.
Yep.
Is 336.
7 times 48.
Mm-hmm.
$7 a ball.
$7 a ball. You lose 48 of them. That's $336.
Because golf ball prices, my friends, are going up.
And even if it's just $6 a ball. That's still $288 this guy would have lost if he was playing some big name brand ball.
Okay, let's be generous. Even if they're $5 a ball, that's $240.
Yeah. But instead, he only lost like $50. And buddy, do you know what happens after all the misses? You start to get a little bit straighter. The ball starts to go a little bit further.
Yes, it does.
You start to get a little bit better. And it's great that your learning phase, your practice phase doesn't cost you $366.
I think part of like that's part of why people get turned off of golf.
Yeah, the price tag. And if you can learn and not bust the bank, that's great.
It's phenomenal. You could go out and buy some really crappy balls and like, okay, that's fine. But I'm telling you, these are legitimate balls. They're good.
They are good. And Ryan and I birdied on the first hole of the entire season.
Hole number 1.
I was using a pin drop. I think you were using a T-bird.
No, we were using the same exact ball. Nope, sorry. I was using a T-bird. Trevor and I were using the same exact ball.
Oh, did you have the same amount of stars too even?
Yep.
But I just started walking up to the one that was 20 yards further.
So that might have been my ball. We
It
don't
could have
know.
been your ball, Trevor.
You
You
No.
did say he was driving well.
That is, if you just run that through your mind real quick, 48 balls in 36 holes that's actually unbelievable.
Right. I want to know if there was like a couple holes in those 36 where he didn't lose a ball, because then you know that there were a couple holes where he lost like 4.
And I mean, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He was playing one of the toughest courses on planet Earth.
Absolutely. He had to have been playing like
10-yard
Pebble Beach or Whistling Straits,
Yeah.
like on a giant bay, and he's just hitting him into the Great Lakes or the ocean.
40 mile per hour winds.
40 mile an hour
Straight
winds.
towards the water.
Fairways were 10 yards wide with swamps and alligators on both sides.
Super thick rough. Can't even find your ball.
No,
there.
you can't even find your ball in the rough.
You know what else he also didn't tell us? He only told us he lost 48 Union Green balls. I wonder if when he ran out, he lost any others.
Because
too.
you know that he was in the thick stuff, looking for balls, looking for his ball, and he probably found other balls that he also lost. So, sir, I commend you.
Yes.
I commend you for continuing on.
Yes, I agree. Hey, stay strong, dude. We've all been there. I've never like golfed 36 holes that back to back and lost that many balls, but I have lost at least 12 to 15 in a round before. So
The most balls, and I don't know why I remember this and why I have never said it. The most balls I've lost in one hole is 5.
yeah, in one hole.
In one hole.
Jesus. So yeah, next, don't feel bad about this. You're gonna get better. That's the whole point of this. And if you want more balls, you can go to uniongreen.com, buy 3 boxes of T-Birds, get your 4th box free, and then throw promo code double bogey on top of that, and then get your double bogey 20, and get 20% off the rest of it. So it ends up being about $50 for 4 boxes of balls.
You got to love it. Uniongreen.com.
Do it.
Tyler, first round of the
Ryan.
year, first round with the new Gen 6s. I will tell you, I've never cleaned my clubs more than I did the other day, because there's something about when you have new clubs and you want to keep them clean for as long as possible. Now, this will probably only last a couple rounds, but between every shot, I had my tee out of my hat. I was scraping grooves. I had my towel that was a little bit damp. I was spit shining clubs in between shots.
See, I was the opposite. I was like, I gotta get these bad boys dirty. I gotta
break 'em in.
I gotta season them like a cast iron pan.
Yep.
They gotta feel the ground so they can golf better.
There is 2 ways to go about it. There's the cast iron pan way, which the dirtier the better. And then let's see how long these things can look brand new for.
Yep. One thing we haven't talked about enough on this podcast is the putters. At least for me, I have the Bat Attack from PXG. It looks like Batman's cowl. That is 100% the reason I picked that one.
Yep.
It is a fucking weapon. I love that thing, dude.
It's more of a weapon than Batman is himself.
Honestly, it is like I'm wearing Batman's utility belt when I got that thing in my hands, because I can putt out of the sand with it.
Yep.
I can putt out of off the fringe with it. I can putt out of the fairway with it. And it is a sniper on the greens. I had like 3 putts over 25 feet.
Yep.
Easily.
What a great feeling.
It was phenomenal, because like nothing can recover a bad shot better than a long putt made.
And let me tell you this, Tyler. A lot of people like to re-grip their putters with the fat grip, skinny grip, whatever it is. The stock grip, actually. I'm a huge proponent of stock grips on putters.
So I've said this on the podcast. I do not like the fat grips.
Yep.
And I have the skinniest grip you can get from PXG, and it was still too fat for me in my mind. I didn't like how it felt in my hands, the grip anyway. And so I was gonna get it re-grip, but after the first round of the year, I am not touching that thing.
You can't. You just had to give it a chance. You just had to give it a chance.
Yep.
I also would like to comment on the Sugar Daddies.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the course we played is a par 3, par 4 hybrid. A lot of par 3s that are between like 115 and 140.
Yep.
So like a perfect, 58, 54, 52, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Sugar Daddies, they literally were Sugar Daddies.
They were.
I could
on
not
the
thank them
money.
enough after that round. I mean, fuck, damn near hold out.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
I damn near hold out on every single par 3 because, 15 yards, that's almost a hole out.
True. I mean,
10 feet, that's almost a
in the
hole out.
grand scheme of things.
In theory.
That's really close. Think about all the other places you could have hit it. 15 feet away from the hole is pretty good.
Guys, if you just think about it, like even if you're 25 feet away from the pin, like you almost hold out. You're 25 feet away from a hole out.
Right. You could have dribbled it off the tee and it could have gone 6 feet. Like, think about that. That is in play. And you put it 15 from the pin.
Yes. Another great thing about PXG is if the driver is not on, if the coin flip does not land in your favor, the hybrid, the 3-wood, even the driving iron that I have, they're great second options.
Yes.
They are not going, they will let you down,
I will make you a
but they're not going to let you down much.
I'll make you a guarantee right now.
Ooh.
If you have a full bag of PXGs, no matter what, at least one club will be working for you on the tee.
I can get behind that.
You just got to find it.
It might be a 58 off of a par 4, 400-yard par 4.
Yep. Something will be on for you on the tee box, and that is a Tyler guarantee. Take it to the bank.
PXG.com.
Mm-hmm.
Go check them out.
All right, Ryan. I'm so excited for this segment.
This is one of the most hyped segments that we've had in a while.
I mean, we didn't even hype it up that much in the podcast because I was like, oh, yeah, this could be fun. This is going to be great. We have so many good submissions.
Now, to preface things, guys, again, if you listen on Spotify, you click into the episode at the very bottom, there's a submission box, right?
Yep.
That's where you can go submit anything that we do in the future.
Yes.
So we have DMs on Instagram, Facebook. A lot of them came from Spotify.
Yeah, I think we have some really, really good ones on Spotify. I've looked through them all, and I think in the future, moving forward, we're probably just going to limit our submissions to Spotify and then maybe one platform, because right now we just have too many places to look.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll start here with.
Now, how are you going to structure this? Are we going straight AA style?
No, I'm not going to say anyone's names.
No, but like, hello. Okay, you're not going to do that.
No, because
I was looking forward to
it's
that.
anonymous. They don't want people to know their names.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, this first guy I relate to so much because there's someone in this room that I feel the exact same way about.
Trevor, I guarantee it's me.
I don't know. Probably.
Our first golfer anonymous submission is from blank. I hate my playing partner. It was a joke, Ryan.
Fuck.
I hate
not a
my
joke.
playing partner. He's cocky, condescending, has anger issues. He's broken many clubs by throwing and snapping them over his knee. And if he hits a bad shot, he hits a bad shot every round.
Who are you referring to saying?
I said it was a joke because I knew it was coming.
I don't think it was a joke.
Oh, he was projecting.
No, you've never broken a club. You don't have anger issues, or you're not cocky or condescending.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you do hit a bad shot every round.
We all do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I read that last part wrong. He says he's broken many clubs by throwing and snapping them over his knee if he hits a bad shot, and he hits a bad shot every round.
So
Buddy.
he's breaking a club every round.
He's breaking a club every single round. That's got to get really fucking expensive, one.
Very.
But if he's cocky and condescending, he's probably a rich douchebag, so it doesn't matter.
So my first question is, how do you even... So this guy, he had to have been a good guy to golf with right away.
Or his only option.
Yeah.
And
or
I
his
think-
only option.
I think, buddy, like the only course of action here is to start golfing alone or with anyone else.
That's actually a great point. There is a quick fix to this one, Tyler.
Yeah.
And that is start by golfing alone. Eventually the right playing partner is going to come along and you guys are going to vibe a lot better. A lot less clubs are going to get broken and a lot less anger issues are going to be had. Now, I golfed alone last year for the first time ever. And it was one of the most peaceful, best rounds that I played the entire year.
Yep.
I golfed 18 holes. I had the second tee time of the day. And if I had the first tee time and didn't have to wait, because I was cruising.
Yep.
If I didn't have to wait at half the tee boxes for the couple in front of me, I'd have been done in about an hour, 45 minutes.
Right.
But instead I was done in 2 hours.
Yeah, and it felt great.
It was amazing.
Yeah, so that's my only advice for you, dude. You got to dump this guy because this guy's going to ruin golf for you.
Or, I mean, also what you can do, yes, there's this, we talk about being the solo in a group of 3 or being a solo in a group of 2. I think in this scenario, it sounds like you're a pretty good guy because you recognize that your playing partner is a D-bag.
Yep.
So get a tee time with one, like look at the tee time saying like one golfer left on this tee time. Golf with some other people. And I think you're going to enjoy things a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. That's literally the only advice we can give you.
I mean, the other option, Tyler, after the swinger golf idea that we had,
Yep.
there's
There's 15 of those apps now.
15 of them now.
You're welcome, world.
So, and I don't know which one's the best one. So you can do some research. You can find people. And actually, I tried one out the other day, and it is like swiping on Tinder. Like,
yeah, I've seen ads. They're literally advertising it as Tinder for golfers.
right. But I actually did it. I did not swipe right on anybody. Because
It's cheating on you, Tyler.
because I have golfing partners.
That's fine. He's
I don't,
cocky, condescending,
Yeah,
and he's got
yeah.
anger issues.
you're painting this picture of me that's just
Cheater.
not true.
Yep.
Cheater.
No, Ryan, I said I was kidding. All right, we got a ton of these. I got another one for you. This is from also Anonymous. I've played a course at least 10 times, and I've hit the same house every time I've played. I should probably start skipping that hole. No.
No, you should start skipping that hole.
It is you versus that
Yes.
house now. It doesn't matter if you shoot a 150. If you don't hit that house on one of the rounds, you won.
I mean, also, it sounds like the property owners have not said anything about it.
Oh,
So you have to keep going until the property owners say, all right, buddy, we've been watching you for the last 3 years. And I think it's just time that you maybe club down or club up. Something that is
Yeah.
not in the range of our house.
no, I genuinely think you keep that same club in your hands. You've got it in your hands for a reason. It is you. Now it doesn't matter if you 18 putt every hole like Trevor, or you shank it off the tee like me, or you can't get out of the sand like me, or you shake it off the drive like Ryan. It does not matter. If you can get through a round without hitting that house, you win.
You
Just
win,
7-iron that
baby.
whole hole.
And I'll tell you what, if you walk up to that tee box and you flip that house, the double birds, and you fucking smoke one right down the middle,
Right in there.
that is what
No.
life is all about.
I figured out how you're not going to hit that house, buddy. I know it.
Aim for the house.
Aim for that house and you will not hit it.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
You
That's correct.
line up right at their fucking front door and you swing as hard as you can and you will not hit that house.
And what's going through your head when you're about to swing? Don't hit the house. Don't hit the house. Don't hit the house. You're not going to hit the
Nope,
house.
you're not gonna.
He's trolling that house.
I want to.
He's going right through the window. That's the one time he rockets one
Yeah.
straight.
You would think like homeowners on a golf course, like this house has to look at this. I mean, I can guarantee you they've been home when he's hit their house. They can hear
Oh
it.
yeah.
They gotta have like I saw a product on Shark Tank yesterday. It was like a stretchable like screen for your window so you can clean the bugs out of them.
Mhm.
They need to have some sort of plexiglass, some sort of special window for golf courses. Because the liability is gonna shoot way down
Yep.
if you're not getting your window smashed in by our golfers
Our
anonymous.
boy
over here.
Anonymous.
That's actually unbelievable. There has been a hole before where this is the hole I lost 5 balls on. Moorhead Country Club.
Okay.
I ripped one straight left, right into a camper. It was in the driveway.
God.
I'm pretty sure I can't remember if the guy was outside or not. Right into the fucking camper. Okay, let's tee another one up. Don't hit the house. Don't hit the camper. Don't hit the house. Don't hit the camper. Okay, well, we're just gonna go straight for the house. Rip another one straight left. Roof of the house. And mind you, there's a river directly to my right, about 20 yards off the fairway. Don't hit it in the river. Don't hit the house. Don't hit the camper. What do I do next? I hit it over top the house into the backyard. Okay, I'm just gonna play a drop up there. So there's 3 balls. Next shot went into the water. Next shot went into the other water. And then I'm like, okay, concede. I'll put a 10 down on my scorecard.
Oh no.
Jeez.
So the house, yeah. Stay away from the houses.
Yep.
Don't hit the house. Don't hit the house. Don't hit the house.
I have another property damage one here for you.
Ooh.
From also anonymous. Hanging out in the yard with my brother. My brother hit a golf ball into his other brother's truck window.
Oh,
We told our parents. A golfer hit it over the green and shadowed the window while we were driving past the course. Your parents didn't believe a fucking word of that. They know you are full of shit. Unless Buddy that keeps hitting that same house was golfing that day.
that
then-
is true.
Then
That is
maybe
true.
they'll believe it.
How many cars that are on the road do you think are getting hit every year that are physically driving?
Dude, it can't be many. The only time I've ever even seen it happen close was Matt last year in Pelican.
Yeah.
He had like a
Yep.
40-yard chip and he hit it 110
Yep.
onto the road at a truck.
Oh God.
We've got it on camera, but
If you're driving and your truck gets hit by a golf ball, are you stopping?
no, that's not
e-
their fault.
I'm not either.
I would, I mean, especially considering the level of golfer I am, I'm absolutely not holding them accountable for that.
Yeah. I'm not stopping.
It's
either.
karma for
that
every
damn
house
ball,
I've
though.
hit.
Actually, I probably would stop because then they'd think I'm really pissed off. But then I'd be like, dude, I've been so close to doing this
Yeah.
too. Because imagine what that guy's feeling like. Fuck. Am I gonna have to pay for this? Get this guy's dent removed?
Mhm.
Go
Pay for a
ahead,
new
Tyler.
windshield. No, you go ahead. You do one. I'm
All right,
finding
I got
another
one from Instagram. Okay. This is from hi guys, I'm blank and I'm a golfaholic. I'm a golfaholic and I have a confession. I cheated on the day I finally beat my uncle. He's my grandpa Dave. The playing conditions were dog shit, so I didn't really care too much about score, but he was keeping score and I told him single when I shot double a couple times, and at the end he shook my hand and said, "Well, you did it."
No.
And I'm like, what did I do? I beat him by 1 stroke. I just hope I can do it honestly soon.
No, that hurts.
And what he did, he also confirmed, like, I just want to clarify, like, him beating his uncle is your Grandpa Dave.
Yeah,
moment.
I know. And I'm thinking about if I cheated to beat Grandpa Dave, I would feel real bad.
You know
And
exactly how you'd feel.
And it doesn't sound like he cheated with the intent to win.
Correct. Because it was dog shit conditions,
Yeah.
Yep.
and he wasn't keeping score, but his uncle was.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm
So
sorry to
on
hear that,
multiple
dude.
holes, he said single when he shot double, and he beat him by 1.
So not only did he not beat him by 1, he probably lost by 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And now his uncle's got to sit there and live with the fact that, young man beat me now. It's all downhill from here.
The rivalry will never be the same.
Yeah. And like you can't talk shit to him anymore. That's half the fun is talking
Yeah.
shit to Grandpa Dave. Like you can't talk shit anymore if the time you beat him, you were cheating.
Well, and the statute of limitations is like, what, 10 years?
Something.
So you can't tell him for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
You cannot tell him until you beat him
Correct.
for real and legitimately. And you have to live with the guilt of that.
That's tough.
That
And now,
sucks.
Now, every time they play again, it's never going to be the same for him.
Nope.
No.
And I don't even see him beating him because he's always going to have that in the back of his mind.
He's gonna be like, I have to beat him. I have to beat him. I can't lose him again.
That's a tough go, my guy.
Yeah.
It's a tough go. But you did it. The damage is done. Now we just got to move on.
Yep. Because now you're the villain in your own head.
You got any other ones?
Yeah. Don't you have one more?
I have one more. You want
Yeah,
me
go.
to rattle it off?
Go for it.
My name is blank and I'm a cheater.
Oh,
For other golfers.
really?
When I was younger, early 20s, I would often let my playing partners cheat to keep their mood up. or give them gimmies at non-gimme length just so they wouldn't become miserable. Or hey, you get relief from that, local baby tree rule, or pull out of the sand. They're working on all the bunkers.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, ground under construction up there, free relief. There were a couple guys I played with that could ruin your round because their round was going to shit, so I let them cheat. Big fan of the show. Keep it going. Thanks.
Man of the people.
Mm-hmm.
What I responded is I said, you are a guy's guy for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely am with that 100%. Like, and it's also, you can do it selfishly too.
100%.
Like, you don't want the mood to be ruined by someone else's shitty attitude. Give them a drop. Come drop by me, dude.
And
Whatever.
Yep.
So we used to do this for Matt.
Yeah,
Matt was golfing with us, but I feel like Matt knew what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way that this guy had described it was his playing partners didn't really know that's why he was doing it, which is
Even
the
better.
perfect way to do it.
Yep. Because then
So-
they don't feel belittled or patronized.
But I also love that. It's like if you're golfing with someone new and they have a 6-foot putt, hey, maybe let them putt one out from 6 feet. If they make that, then you can give them every other 6, 7, 8 footer that they come across throughout the round.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with this. You are a man of the people. I respect that.
I wanna golf with this guy someday.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you.
Because if I have a 15 footer, is that good? Okay, sounds good.
Ryan putts it anyway, misses by 6 feet.
Yeah. All right, we have one more submission, and this one's a novel.
Okay, buckle up, everybody.
Okay, buckle up. Here's the story. Rewind a few weeks ago to the first round of the year. Being a golfer from Northwest Pennsylvania, we had a freak warm streak, so we took advantage of it. As myself and my regular golfing buddy were setting up on the 9th tee box, I looked over to the 3rd green to see 2 gigantic middle-aged guys who look like fucking absolute units in gym shorts and cutoff t-shirts putting. As they finished, they looked our way, gave us the wave, and continued on. Being the first nice weather, I was obviously on my way to fucking hammered. Lining up my drive on 9, which is a long par 4, I absolutely crushed my fucking drive right in front of the 2 mongoloid looking mother effers. At that point, I felt like fucking DJ walking off of that tee box. That was when it all went to shit. I lined up for my second shot, which should have been an easy 40-yard chip to the green. Living off the high from smoking my drive, I line up with my 56 in hand and take my shot. To say I sculled the fuck out of my shot would be an understatement. This ball took off at eye level like an absolute piss missile, and it was headed right towards the parking lot and right at window level for a car. Right before it hits the window, it drops suddenly, crushes the bumper of this car, then turns into the JFK Bullet. Turns into the JFK Bullet, goes around the first car and hits the second car. So after crushing 2 cars, I stumbled my ass to the clubhouse to at least leave my name solely because someone was on the practice green and saw this happen. To which the owner says, "Oh yeah, those 2 guys don't care." I told him I'd stick around and buy them a beer. He then told me it was the 2 absolute units that I saw earlier, and he wasn't even going to tell them. At that point, I got in my buddy's truck and left to go to the bar. My name is blank, and I fucked up 2 cars with 1 shot and just rolled out.
Jesus.
It's impressive. All the other hitting building stories or car stories, just 1. You got 2, pal.
Okay, there's 2 low points in this entire story. The first low point, just to even start before the 2 cars, is piping a drive on a long par 4, having 40 yards in, and then sculling or chunking a chip. Okay, so low point number 1. Low point number 2 is you sculling that ball is going straight into the parking lot. And I'll tell you what, I know all about hitting balls into parking lots.
Yes, you do.
2 in a row, may I add.
Yes.
There's like this, like your body almost lifts up into the air, just waiting to see what is going to happen with that golf ball. I mean, that son of a bitch could go anywhere.
Like, yeah, your body lifts up, your stomach drops to your ass.
Yes.
Like you were saying, like, oh no. Oh fuck.
Yep.
And it's not even about hitting one car. It's about hitting 2 cars.
Also, this guy has a career in storytelling.
it was solid.
Beautiful anecdotal story. The JFK bullet. I absolutely knew what he was talking about. The thing was ricocheting all around like it wasn't supposed to.
What's the Mongoloid reference?
A mongoloid is just a term for like a big angry man.
And I mean, these guys are in cutoffs, Tyler.
Yeah.
Mongoloid looking men in cutoffs putting on the green. Now, if you do that, Tyler, seeing that there's a guy in the practice green.
That's not what mongoloid means. Eesh. Never mind. Don't use that word anymore, guys. You're fine. You didn't know.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I don't think this guy knew it either, because I've heard it in the terms of like big jacked person.
Okay.
That's not what it means, people.
Okay. All right. So
Glad I Googled it.
if you do what this guy did, are you going to the clubhouse?
No, fuck no.
You're just gonna roll out.
Yeah, I'm going to put like a fake piece of paper underneath the windshield so the guy in the putting green sees me and he's like, oh yeah, he's getting right. And I'm going home.
What if the guy in the practice green sees you?
No, that's why I'm putting the note on the windshield.
Gotcha.
So he sees me physically placing a blank sheet of paper underneath the wiper, and then I am going home.
Or you could just place your scorecard and say, hey man, I didn't think things could get much worse today, but they did. So here's my scorecard to prove that.
Or you just like, you put your clubs behind that car and you kind of mill around with your shoes and stuff till the guy in the putting green leaves, so he thinks it's your car that you hit.
And that, like, the guy in the putting green doesn't know whose car it is, probably.
Probably not, unless it's his.
But also to be in a position to where if your car gets hit by a golf ball and you just don't care, I kind of want to get to that spot one day.
I mean, I don't care if it was like an accident, but if some dumbass is like teeing off at the parking lot on purpose, then I'm going to say something.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
It's kind of like 18 at Rose Creek.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if you accidentally hook your second shot left.
That's going. I will not park there. I will park
Same.
so far down the parking lot. It's a huge parking lot.
I will leave my club face completely open to spray one right into the water before I even try and hit one down the middle and have the chance of hooking one into the parking lot.
I almost hit one in that parking lot.
I've been there many times.
I actually am worse on hole one. Because like if I hit a super nasty hook there, that's going parking lot. And if it's busy enough, there'll be people in those spots.
Big time.
Yeah, you got to go middle there for sure.
Did I ever tell you about the story in Alaska when I was golfing in Alaska?
When you saw a bear?
Well, I saw a bear, saw a moose, saw a lot of wildlife. But hole number 9, parking lot's right on the right side, so it's an easy hole to slice one off the tee box into the parking lot. Some guy's Jeep, it like shattered the front. Some guy hit one off the tee box. It shattered the windshield of a Jeep, and no less than 10 minutes later were the cops there.
Wow.
Jeez.
So to just think you're going out for a nice casual round, beautiful Alaska, you shatter some guy's windshield, and now you got the cops to deal with.
Typical Jeep owner.
Typical Jeep owner. Yeah, the guy might have been chill too. He might have just gave him a Jeep wave and say, hey man, don't worry about it.
The Jeep owner's pissed until he finds out another Jeep owner did it, and then it's just chill.
Yeah. Hey, you want to go hike a mountain later?
I think
maybe, or?
Jeeps are just now high horses.
I agree.
If you have a Jeep, you need to get the fuck off your high horse.
Okay, well, if you hit a Jeep, roll on out.
If you hit a Jeep, you need to flee because there will be a warrant for your arrest soon, apparently.
Cops were there, no less than 10 minutes.
Hate that.
Jeez.
It was an accident, guys. Just call your insurance.
Yeah, to get all that involved.
Right.
If you're just around and go, fuck, that would be such a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well,
I'd rather take a dent on the hood, claim it as hail damage, leave the truck outside when the hail's on the way.
Yep.
Hey, golf ball sized hail. Whoops. Looks like I'm going to have to claim insurance on this one.
You just take more golf balls and start throwing them at the hood.
Yeah, you just hit some high 60-degree lob shots right onto the top of your truck.
Yeah, watch out for your windshield, though.
Watch out for the windshield. My windshield's already cracked, so
True.
it doesn't even matter.
True. All right, I think we should wrap her up.
Yep.
I love Golfers Anonymous. It's a new personal favorite.
I do too, because
There were so many good submissions that we could have read. I feel bad that we didn't get around to them, but save them for next time.
we're going to do this again for sure. Keep submitting them. Spotify. Submit them on Spotify.
Yeah, just do that. I mean, I know if you listen on Apple or you listen wherever you listen, you can keep listening there. Just pop into Spotify quick, submit it for us because
Yeah.
it's much easier. They don't disappear, and it's easier. Like they're all in one spot for me, and so I don't have to jump around to Facebook, to Instagram, to TikTok DMs. It's all in one place, and it makes my life a lot easier, and I appreciate it.
All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed a little Golfers Anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it again in the future. We got to get out for round number 2.
Yep, any day now.
I mean, it's heating up around here.
I'm gonna start looking for scrambles.
Please do.
We'll get one on the books.
Yes. If you have a scramble in the North Dakota, Fargo area or the Lakes area of Minnesota, be sure to let us know.
Yeah, and we like getting invited to the other ones too, but just know we're probably not going to drive to New Jersey for the scramble.
If we're in the area, though,
Yeah.
we're going to check for a scramble.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks again for listening in. We will see you next week.
Laters. Oh, love you. Jesus.
Love you.
Sorry.
Love you.
You piped that the wrong way.
I'll call the clubhouse. We'll book in another 18 for tomorrow.
Okay, they cheated on that. They fluffed their balls.
Yeah, no better time for the breakfast ball than now.